Israeli. For those of you who are new, welcome to this event, collaboration with Kadmoni, the Jewish meditation group, and the Chevra. So thank you to the Chevra especially for helping to organize and put everything together. Tonight we're blessed to have Rabbi Dov Ber Cohen all the way from Israel here to help lead us through a session and hopefully take something away we can incorporate into our everyday lives in terms of our practice. I think many people who are here on the Israel trips know Rabbi from Israel, so for those who are not new, welcome back. And for those who are new, hope you enjoy the session. Real quick, just want to plug Rabbi's book, which I actually got to read right before the holidays. The holidays was actually a really good read for me before the holidays. It's called Mastering Life. Full of very important life lessons that I think everyone can incorporate in their day-to-day lives. For those who might not know Rabbi's story, he grew up in England, and eventually, when he decided to start questioning more in life and trying to find the deeper things in life, he did what every normal Jewish person does, and goes and backpacks across Asia for 6 years. So he learned a lot and focused both on the lessons of what he took away from every single country that he visited, as well as his final stay in Israel. And it has many different practices you can incorporate into your day-to-day life to connect, even if it's just for 5 minutes. So his book's available on Amazon, and he actually has some copies with him, I believe, if anyone's interested in purchasing one here. So without further ado, I'll give it away to Rabbi to begin the session. So thank you.
So always on my journeys through America, Kadmoni and the Chevra is one of my favorite stops. Probably my favorite stop, basically because I know everyone now. They're my friends. But also because usually where and when I speak, I have to be inspirational. Everyone wants to be inspired. Like, guys, we can do it. Set your goals, work out how to achieve them, do it. You can do it. Live a passionate, amazing, healthy, vibrant, vital, sweet, amazing life. Here are the tools. But I don't have to do that here. So I'm not going to be inspirational. Really. Because there's a very different energy. And I guess it's called science nowadays. And it's not inspirational, it's actually very chill. So what we're really going to do today, hopefully, is we're gonna chill. We're gonna be and it's much deeper and more real and more authentic. Because the inspiration, to be honest, is very shallow, superficial, and not long-lasting. Inspiration, and by the way, the bigger the inspiration, the less long it lasts. The bigger the fire, the quicker the fuel is burned. So, if you came for an inspirational talk, one place. Brilliant. So, inspiration is pushing forward and flaming ahead. But today we're going to try and just sit down. Just stop achieving. Stop achieving so much. There are so many demands on us all the time. Dating and gym and health and work and children if you have them, and business, and we're just being demanded of the whole time. And it's kind of tiring, to be honest. It's getting very tiring. And that's why you need to veg out and watch 3 hours of Netflix. Smoke lots of weed. And whatever you need to do, because you can't keep going. And you either try to and keep pushing on and then have some sort of breakdown, or you veg out in not necessarily healthy ways. It could be neutral. But the problem with that type of settling down is that it doesn't achieve what you want to achieve. So let's say you have a very difficult day at work and you've got so much on your mind. And unfortunately, to be honest, most people's minds aren't necessarily the most fragrant smelling gardens. So you watch 2 hours of Netflix, you manage to forget your mind for a little bit, you're distracted, you escape from it, but the program's finished, and then you're just back to square one. And you've got to keep doing it, or the drug wears off, or the bungee jump finishes, or whatever it is. So it comes to an end. So it's very not sustainable. It's not a sustainable way of living healthy. I noticed a phenomenon recently. How much time do you spend choosing the right emoji? Just look at the exact right. How big the smile. Really, you could have any angle of smile out there, and teeth. And so, which one exactly really represents how you feel? You should choose your 5 emojis. Just use that. Be simple. So Rabbi Nachman says, מה שהעולם רחוקים מהשם יתברך ואינן מתקרבים עליו יתברך הוא רק מחמס שאין להם ישו בדעת. Amazing. Thank you so much for having me. So what that means is the only reason we're not having a deep, peaceful, vibrant, vital connection to life, and really that means to our spiritual side, to our neshamas, to our souls, to God, is only because we don't have Yishuv Hadat. Yishuv Hadat. And so, in many translations, but the most basic one is Yishuv means to settle, and Das means your mind. That's the basic interpretation. We're not getting to experience life because our minds are just all over the place all the time. Even now. Right. What's he going to say next after? By the way, you can take your shoes off. You're going to feel much better. I think most people will feel more comfortable if you take your shoes off. I'll feel more comfortable if you take your shoes off. Okay, take your shoes off. Yishuv Hadat. So Yishuv means to settle your mind, and just find a break in the clouds. Because your neshama, your soul, is very, very, very clear. It's very clear and it's very simple. But your mind is very, very complex and complicated and judgmental and uncontrollable and not so nice often. And you're double guessing and you're giving meaning to things and you're planning and over analyzing, and it's very complicated. Your mind is very complicated. We've got so much to deal with. Just life in general, but also any trauma, pain, anything we went through in our lives, we're carrying stuff, and past lives, it's so complicated. There's an area of our life which is really in our mind that's very, very complicated and complex and difficult. But there's a place within you, always, it's just a little bit deeper, it's just, if you go under your mind, it's very, very calm. Very, very calm, very, very crisp. and pure. So your mind is like clouds, sometimes very dark, sometimes white and fluffy. It's like clouds, but behind the clouds is always blue sky. You have to know that. The most cloudy, rainy, snowy day, very cold, welcome to Philadelphia. If you went above the clouds, it would be brilliant, bright sunshine and blue sky. And it's there, you just have to be able to see beyond the clouds. It's the same with the ocean. The ocean, big waves. The biggest storm on the ocean, you can have 20-foot waves and howling winds, and you just go down. Just go down, deep, 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 down. Keep going down, very calm. Doesn't matter how big the waves are on the surface. Underneath, it's very calm. Very quiet. So if you could cut the ocean a cross-section and look, even in the biggest storm, it will be all stormy on the top, but you can see just down at the bottom. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tap into that place. And you can't think your way into that place. That's the problem. We think, well, how can I do that? I'll break a plan and I'll structure it. There's a place that is beyond mind, above mind. So Rabbi Nachman says, Yishavadas, just settle your mind. It's okay. It's okay. So your mind very often is just like an annoying little baby. And it wants attention, and it wants respect, and it wants to be loved, and it wants to be heard. And you get very upset about things. I think when you're 95 years old, you're going to look back on your life, and 95% of things you got upset about will be like, why did I get so upset? Why are you so upset? It's okay. Okay. No, but it was wrong of him to take the last tea bag. He already had 2 tea bags. Okay, I hear that. You're right. You're right. You're justifiably, you're in the right, but it's okay. You don't have to worry about it. When you're sitting, I don't know which way it was in America, you're sitting to turn left or right, so you're in the line to turn that way, and there's traffic going straight, and you're in the turning lane. So you're waiting patiently, and then that person drives past you, pretending to go straight, and then cuts in. That's right, and you've done it. How dare you judge me, Rabbi? How dare you judge me, Rabbi? So do you get really upset about that? Because you're reserved to, you're justified, you're right to the principle of the thing, and you're there waiting, even though you're also late for your thing, and they had absolutely no respect or regard for other people. Get over it. Not that bad, you know? No, it's bad enough that they did that. Did they also get upset about it? Like, imagine you missed the bus, and then you get upset about missing the bus. Isn't it bad enough that you missed the bus? You have to get upset about it as well. Isn't that like, you know? Why are you just piling complication onto? Okay, so let it go. It's all right. It's another way. It's okay. So you've got this annoying baby in your head. And what you sometimes need to do is just say, shh. Okay, not zoom into WhatsApp and LinkedIn, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. Alright, I acknowledge you as well, by the way. I have to acknowledge what we do, because we're so complicated. When you have that thought, you then give it so much significance, and you're like, this thought is true. I am God. It will happen. I can't do this. Why did this thought isn't true? Why am I having this thought? What's wrong with me? I should be so jealous. Why am I upset? I should be upset by this. Now you're upset that you're upset. When you get upset, just be upset. When you get upset, be upset. It's so complicated. Stop it. Just realize, hey. By the way, you hear. You should do this. You can do this now even. You're alright. Clap here. In your heart. This is your heart chakra. As they say in the self heart. Go like this. Breathe through your nose. It's okay. So my baby, he just turned 1 year old. He was born 3 months early. He was in the incubator. He spent the first 3 months of his life in hospital. First 12 days in an incubator on a respirator. He's a very happy boy now. But sometimes I just need to hold him and just be like, For the first 3 months of his life, he slept on me. But now, sometimes when my wife finds it hard to get him to sleep, she calls me and I'm like, give him to me, I put him on my chest and like, this is where I sleep. But sometimes I go and say, it's okay. So you've got to do that to your own little baby in your head. Because you've got a hurt child in your head, 5-year-old in your head. And what you have to do is acknowledge it. Acknowledge it and say, okay, you're there, I love you. You're okay, I'm okay, everything's okay, we're okay. Okay? Everything's okay. Okay. How? Let's think about your day today. You woke up in the morning, sang Moderni, jumped out of bed. I'm Mommy slapping you up. Maybe. I don't know if it's exactly like that, but some version, some version. And then you got up and you had breakfast, you went to work, you did everything, you came here. How much of today do you think you just felt okay? I'm okay. Not slightly uneasy. I don't feel highly anxious, but I'm feeling slightly uneasy because I have to get that thing down. And I've got this demand on me, and I don't like this about myself, and I don't like this about my boss. And how much time were you just like, I'm okay. I'm not perfect. I'm okay though. You're all okay. You're more than good. How often do you just feel okay? I'm okay, it's alright. Don't be so complicated. It's okay. How long than most people? How long than most people? And you know what? Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay as well. Whatever you're worried about, I guarantee it's going to be okay. Say that, Rabbi, you don't know my situation. How do I know you're going to be okay? Because every single thing you've worried about so far in your life, you're here, you're okay. So why do you think that it's not going to be okay next time? It's always been okay, you've always have. It might have been difficult. 98% of things you ever worried about never happened. Most of the things that you worried about and they did happen weren't as bad as you made out they might be when they do happen. And a very, very, very small percent of things you worried about did happen and they were bad and serious, but you're growing from them, you're dealing with them, therapy, whatever you're doing, but you're processing. Process. You're okay. It's okay. You're okay. Complicated. No, but Rabbi, I know, I hear what you're saying, but when you say I'm okay, stop here. Just chill out. Chill out. And overanalyze. I'm trying to be very simple. Very simple. I'm a simple man. A simple yid. Yeshiva das. Yeshiva das just means settle your mind. So that means all you have to do is you've got to realize when it needs to be settled, and when does it need to be settled is when it's crying in the middle of the night. So you've just got to keep noticing and say, oh, I'm doing it again. Just say that. Oh, I'm overanalyzing again. And then don't beat yourself up for overanalyzing. Because that means you're just going into a deep breath. Oh, I'm overanalyzing again. I can't believe what's wrong with me. Why would I overanalyze? You do not need to fight your thoughts. Stop fighting them. You can't fight them because once you fight them, you're making them more significant. You're saying, so don't fight them. Just acknowledge them. Acknowledge them. Say, okay, I acknowledge, I feel this. That's okay. Acknowledge that thought. Okay, so I'm having a jealous thought now. It doesn't mean I'm a horrible person. I'm just having a jealous thought. It's okay. Someone once said to me, but how do you know it's, how do you really know it's okay? And everything's okay. And I said to them, you know what, you're right. It's actually not okay. It's amazing. I'm just trying to get you to okay, because if I'm okay, I can then get you to nice. So do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm going to ask a question with kind of what you were saying. I guess my question is, like, you study this and you know the kind of like process to go through your head to not fight these thoughts. And if a friend came to you and said, they were tackling these things in their head and trying to fight their thoughts, you would give them, the perfect advice you want to give to yourself, but following it yourself is so difficult. So why is self-kindness so difficult when you could tell a friend like perfect advice that had the same problem as you?
There are a few answers to that question, but tonight's answer is, doesn't matter, just stop doing it. You could analyze why it's easier to deal with other people's problems, because you're not personally involved in it, you're not hooked. When it's your problem, then you get hooked, so you're not functioning at a high resource level, so it's harder to implement. So that's one way you can look at it. The other one is, okay, I'm doing this, it's not really serving me anymore, so I'm going to let it go. So for example, there are lots of therapies where I'm going to go into my past and dig it up and work out why I think like this, and that's very necessary if you need that. But sometimes there's the, okay, whatever made it is not working, let go now. Now, for some people, and sometimes it's impossible to let go until you've done the work of digging up. If someone gives you a burning hot coal in your hand, you're burning hand, what should you do? Drop it. Yeah. Don't be like, but this is part of who I am. No. But my mum gave me this coal. Okay, just talk about when I buy. Drop it. I think I'm going to wait the question to the end, just for this particular session, because it's just you should be simple, and then we'll stay up all night for the question. Yes. What that literally means is the reason that people are far from Hashem, which means far from experiencing life on a deep level. That's how I'm going to translate Hashem for now. But Hashem is existence. Hashem is existence. It's not, I feel far from Hashem, an entity separate from me in the sky, and I feel far from... No. It's something called having an experience of just being alive. How often do you experience that you even exist? Never. Very rarely. Alive. breathe out as much as you can, and then hold your breath until you can't hold anymore, then breathe in and feel life coming into you. Okay, everyone first take a deep breath in, and then breathe out as much as you can and hold it. Close your eyes. And every breath that comes in, I want you to feel life force and vitality coming into you. Because that breath is keeping you alive. And if your breathing stops, if your mind starts wandering, just say shh. And rather than controlling your breath, often in meditation we control our breath. We breathe in very deeply and very steadily. But I don't want you to control your breath now. I just want you to watch it. Watch your breath coming in and going out. Is it deep? Shallow, fast, slow, just watch breath coming in. Feel yourself being breathed. When your mind starts wandering, don't get upset, just smile gently and return to concentrating on your breath. Loosen your neck and shoulders if you need to. And breathing and smiling. If you're frowning, raise your eyebrows a bit to release tension in your face. And just feel life coming in, going out. You don't need to say to yourself, you know what, I really am okay. Everything's going to be okay. And if your mind tries to sabotage you and say, well, no, you're not, you say, shh, it's okay, I'm okay, everything's okay. מה שהעולם רחוקים מהשם יתברך ואינם מתקרבים אליו יתברך. ורק מחמס שאין להם ישוע בדעת. The reason we're not living vital lives of vitality connected to our neshama is just because our mind. Imagine a clear pond. You hear that? So imagine there's a very, very, very clear pond in a field with trees and flowers and blue skies. So beautiful, clear, crystal, the water so clear, just drinking water from that field. Then imagine you jump into the pond. So what happens is all the sand and mud and sediments at the bottom of the pond then come out. You've now stirred up all this dirt and dust and sand and sediment. So now the pond's not very clear anymore. But then if you stand very, 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 very still, and you wait a little bit, all the sand and the dust and the sediment and the mud just floats back down to the bottom. Just floats back down to the bottom. And then the pond becomes very clear. It's clear again. So we need to tap into moments in our day where you stop moving around so much. The moving around and the planning and regretting and judging and guilt and fear and all those things, you're clouding your mind. Your mind becomes very cloudy. So sometimes you just need to sit and let it settle. Yeshivadat, this is what it means, settling the dust. Yeshivadat. Settling the dust. And then, not necessarily there yet, there's the level where you then clean the bottom of the pond. So there's no dust and sediment and mud anymore to even come up. That's called enlightenment. That's called enlightenment. And it's clean. But first you have to settle everything before you can then start working on cleaning it all. So Rabbi Nachman goes on to say this. This is in Yekutei Moran Kinyana, Yud Tet, 19, in the second part of the Yekutei Moran. Ikar HaTachlis HaShleimus Hu Rak La'avod Hashem B'Tmimut Gamo. The main purpose and goal and perfection in life is just to do your spiritual work with Tmimut. Tmimut. It's a very beautiful word. Tmimut. Let me tam. So what does tam mean? We saw in last week's parsha. It says Hashem says to Abraham Avinu, you must be tamim. Be tamim, Abraham. And in the parsha before that, Noach was an ish tzaddik. Tamim. He was tamim. And Yaakov, we're going to meet soon. He was an ish tam. Yosef. He was tam. And he says, in Dvarim it says, Tamim tiyeh Hashem Elokech. You need to be tam. You need to be tam. T-N. Transcendental meditation. So we got to, Tamimus is a very, very important thing. Rabbi Nachman says it's the Ikar, is the main thing. That's the main thing. He doesn't say the main thing is to learn the whole Gemara. So the main thing is to be tam. And tam, really, one understanding of the word tam is just be simple. Just be simple. Now it's not like the tam of the Pesach Seder. You got that tam. Who's the tam? But we generally, he's not considered on that higher spiritual level because he's naive. He's tam because he's naive. So we're not talking about that sort of tam, although there's something beautiful and innocent about it. And children are amazing because they're very tam. They're very innocent and real. And then as they grow up, they learn not to be, because you're vulnerable if you're like that, and you get hurt. So I'm not going to be so simple, I'm going to be complex to protect myself. Maybe. So you get so deeply cut off in the shower. You need to protect them. The children very easy. So that's a nice level. But what tam really means is, I have great wisdom. I have great wisdom and intelligence. But I don't get too caught up in it. I use it when I need it, but in general I'm connected. Now remember, your neshama is so simple. Your neshama doesn't need a lot. That's being tam. Says that there was a big makubah. This is actually in the Mishnah Berurah, in Shulchan Aruch Tzadik Chet, about the kavanah, the intention in prayer. Says that you should you just understand the words. So funny how many people come up to me and say, Rabbi, teach me how to meditate. And I say to them, you need to sit up straight and close your eyes gently and just start following your breath coming in and out. And then what's going to happen is your mind's going to wander. You're going to have lots of thoughts, and when you notice that it's wandered, just catch it, become aware of that, catch it, smile, and very gently return your mind back to your breathing. And then after a few seconds, your mind's going to wander again. And when you notice it, just smile and gently return your attention back to your breath. And they're like, okay, I get that, but what's next? What about the Das Elyon, Aleph, Hey, Yud, Chachma, Bina? Just breathe through your nose. Breathe through your nose. What's all this? Just be simple, that's it. It's simple. Tmimus. So there, in Tzadik Chet, the Mishnah Berurah brings that there was a Makubal, and he learned all the Sifrei Kabbalah, he knew all of Kabbalah, and he knew all the intentions, the Kabbanot for praying. But when it came to actually praying, he prayed like a Tinok Ben Yom. He prayed like a day-old baby. Like a day-old baby, just being simple. And we know that day-old babies just experience life on a very deep level. Children, not only day-old, but children experience life on a very, very deep, real, intense level. Why is that? Because they don't have das. They don't have das. They don't need to yishuv their das. They don't have any language. If you don't have words, you can't have thought. So babies don't have words, therefore they don't have thought. And if you don't have thought, then you just have experience. So thought cuts you off from experience, because you have experience, but then you label it, and you judge it, and you compare it, so you're not experiencing it anymore. You see a beautiful sunset, and you're sitting there and you're like, I wish they were with me to watch the sunset. This was an amazing Facebook profile photo. This was as nice as yesterday's sunset. I hope the sunset doesn't finish over here. Just sit down and there you go. My advice. Rabbi, teach me how to meditate. Sit down and So that's why babies are very intense. And by the way, babies are generally pretty cool. Really. They're basically happy until something isn't so nice for them, until they're very hungry. So when they get hungry, they suddenly feel there's discomfort here. So, and they're not labeling it, they're just like discomfort, so they just cry. So they cry, and then you give them a bottle, and then they stop crying. They just stop crying, then they're not like, why did it take you so long to give me a bottle? What does that mean about me? Well, I bet my friends have better bottles than you. Babies don't do all that nonsense. 95% of your thoughts is just a waste of time and a waste of energy. You know how much energy thinking takes up? It's like extra. I saw in New York, they had what's it called, a pneumatic drill. Jackhammer. In England, I think we call it a pneumatic drill. So anyway, they were going into the So imagine that's your job, but as you're going down into the ground, you go and then you lift it up and you go and then back down. That's a waste of energy. Just focus. It's like, what are you doing? And imagine 95% of the time you're pneumatic drilling the air, and then you go down again. It's like, who would do that? But that's what we're doing. So really, you've got to use your mind to drill. You've got to use your mind to do your work, have relationships with people. Use your mind. It's a tool. Use it. Or turn it off. Don't let it just run in the background, because it's really not going to go to a nice place usually. Just run it. It's not going to run anywhere good. So you've got to learn. I'm going to use it when I need it, and when I don't need it, I'm going to have a niggin in my mind. I'm going to have a song. Really. I'm walking around all day with a song, usually a Shabbat song, a Shabbat song. I've basically got Shabbat songs. I've got a soundtrack. My soundtrack is Shabbat songs. And then when I need to use my brain, I stop the song and I use it. And then I finish using my brain, bam, I'm back to Yedid Nefesh. Uplifting song. I'm just not going to let my mind just do its thing. I'm not going to let my mind control me. I'm going to use my mind and turn it on. Stop thinking. Here's another little tool. When you notice you're overthinking, go like this. If you come to Aish one day and you're walking around and you suddenly see someone going like this, you turn it on my suit. And you know he was thinking something that he shouldn't have been thinking, or just that it doesn't help. That's called satori. Satori means instant enlightenment. It's a moment of, whoa, just stop. Enlightenment is a choice at every second. Stop. Unfortunately, most people are just walking around all day like that's what you actually see on the streets in Manhattan. Got that guy who's like, or you're in the metro, you got those people like talking to themselves. They're like, talking out loud and screaming like, that guy's crazy. But you're doing the same thing, you're not just saying it out loud. You're doing the same thing. You just managed to not shout it out. They just got it. You're just crazy, we're just crazy. Tmimus, Tinok Ben Yoma.
It's true.
A day-old baby. It's going to be fine. So this is what he goes on to say. If only I had to save the place. Be'emet, etzlenu, in truth, by us, the Jews, Ikar hasagas atachlit hu rak al yedei emunah u'mitzvot ma'aseh. For us, what it's all about, and how do you tap into tmimut, simplicity and simcha? Emunah and mitzvot. Emunah and mitzvot. So what does emunah mean? Emunah means acceptance. It means many things. But for tonight, it means acceptance. Who's read The Power of Now? Excellent book. Whoever's not read it, read it. Now. So the power of now, the whole thing of the power of now is there is the reality, there is what is, and most of our suffering comes from not accepting what is. You don't accept it. It is raining, but you wanted to go for a walk but you can't, so you get upset. That's because you're not accepting it. You're saying, I wish the reality was different. And it's not, and that causes you suffering. I wish I had a better phone, a better body, a better son, whatever it is you wish you had, you're not accepting the reality. Now that doesn't mean you're completely passive. You can try and change the reality. Try and change it, but if you don't change it, you've got to accept it. That's called the power of now. Tapping into the this is what's here right now, and I accept it because there's no point, well, try and change it, but if you can't, there's no point trying to change it and getting upset. You just got to accept it. So Judaism has the next level of consciousness. The power of now is pretty cool. But Judaism's got the power of Emunah. The power of Emunah isn't just accepted because that's what is and you can't change it, there's nothing you do, you might as well accept it. They accept it because we're very aware that this is the best possible thing that could happen to me right now. Best possible thing that could happen to me. Doesn't feel like it, by the way. When you have a baby in an incubator, God forbid, you should never have a baby. But when I saw my baby, he was less than 2 pounds. He had this respirator keeping him alive. His lungs weren't developed enough to breathe, and his brain wasn't developed enough to tell his hands to breathe. There's something called Emunah. And Emunah makes you simple. You say, okay, what? Emunah doesn't take away pain. Emunah doesn't take away pain. Things can be painful. When someone dies, Emunah means, I know it's for the best, it had to be, but I'm really, 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 really sad about it, and I'm going to cry. And that's okay. That's healthy. You might have noticed that whenever I mention negative states of mind and emotions, and I say guilt, fear, doubt, anger, hatred, I never say sadness. Sadness isn't negative. Sadness is very positive and appropriate. But what Emunah does, it takes away the suffering. So pain is a feeling. I feel lonely. I feel hurt. I feel suffering is your mind not dealing with the pain in a healthy way. It's your mind judging and comparing and escaping and saying, I wish I wasn't lonely, other people aren't lonely, I'm always going to be lonely, I hate being lonely, if I had a girlfriend I won't be lonely. That's suffering. Suffering is your mind not accepting the pain. But once you can accept the pain, once you're not getting rid of the pain, once you can accept the pain and feel the pain, that's how you get rid of the pain. You can't think your way out of it. So Emunah makes you very simple. Emunah says, okay, I'm going to feel the pain, but I'm not going to give meaning and double guess and analyze. This is what's going on. The baby's in the incubator now, I've got 2 kids at home, I've got to do what I've got to do. No? I'm just going to do what I need to do. So I went to work from 9 till 6 every day, came home from about 6:20 to 9 o'clock to be with my wife and the other children, put them to bed, and then went to the hospital and slept in the hospital for 3 months. So I did everything. I was like, okay, that's what I'm doing, you know? It's okay. In Judaism, the word for wisdom is chachma. Chachma, which the Zohar says is koach ma. The power of saying what. The power of saying what, not why. Not why me. Why did this have to happen, but what? What's being asked of me? What am I meant to get from this? It's a much more powerful thing. In fact, in last week's Parsha, when it says, Hashem says to Abraham, you've got to be tamim, Rashi says, Tiyeh shalem b'chol hanisyonot. Be okay with all the tests that are coming. Now that could mean pass all the tests, but how I read it was, be okay, be shalom, be okay, I have shalom. I have peace with the fact that all these tests are coming. Ibn Ezra said it means, Lo sha'al ala milah. He didn't question Hashem when he told him to do the bris milah. You got to be very simple not to question the same about it. Abraham, do this. You're like, okay. Abraham's much higher level than me. I'm like, are you sure, Hashem? It seemed to make sense to me. 75 years old. I know. And when it says, Tamim tiyeh Hashem lekecha, Rashi says, Mukabal et kol haba aleinu something like that. Just receive everything that comes. Just receive it simply. Say, okay, this is what's happening. But you need emunah to be able to do that. You need real emunah. And by the way, you can test your level of emunah by, for example, how much anger we have. That's a very good measuring stick of your emunah. How much anger and worry you have. So to the extent you have emunah, you don't have anger and worry. If you get angry easily and quickly, it means you don't have emunah. Because if you have emunah, you know that everything that happens is coming from Hashem and it's for your best. Why would you get angry? There's no room for anger. Once again, that doesn't mean you're passive. You can take steps to change the situation. I was just in England in the summer, and I was driving, and I stopped at a traffic light. And there was a very, very crippled, hunchback beggar. And he came up to the car, and I thought, you know what, I'll give him some money. So I opened my window and I gave him some money. And the guy in the car next to me, a very big guy, bushy hair, he put down his window and he freaked out at me. He was like, "You idiot! You idiot! He's a con man! He's tricking you because of you, you're encouraging him. He's just going to come back, he can walk fine. I've seen him after everyone goes home, he's fine. You idiot! I like this guy." So I was sitting there in my car, like, okay. Now if I had low self-esteem and he freaked out at me, I'd be like very shocked. And I'd go home and I'd say to my wife, "I was trying to do the right thing and he shouted at me." If I had arrogance, I'd shout back at him. But seeing as I have emunah, I hope, to some extent, and I'm like, this is Hashem shouting at me for some reason. I put down the window and he was ready to try it, and I said to him, "I hear what you're saying. I just think you could have said it in a nicer way." And he said, "Yeah, I guess you're right." And he said, "Life changed, I drove home." Not over-analyzing and saying this means this and he said that and this means that. Oh, I sent that WhatsApp message 14 minutes ago and I can see the 2 blue check marks, which means I know they've seen it and they haven't replied yet. That means that she's sleeping with him. I'm bad, they're bad, this is bad, blah, blah. No, it doesn't mean that. It really doesn't. And you know what? Even if it does, it's okay. It's okay. Am I wrong? Just deal with it. Just deal with it. You've got to notice when your mind is getting too over-analytical and just say, okay, I hear that. Just get off. Get off that track. And just be simple. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. The rest of us. No, but I'm right. No. You know, usually being right doesn't really serve you at all. It doesn't really work. So, Mazel Tov, you're right. Who cares? You're going to be right and unhappy. That's what you're going to do. You should all be married very soon to the right person. And you should be happy by not needing to be right. Stop needing to be right and just be happy. Let go. Tam also means wholehearted. When you do it, just really mean it. You really mean it. Really mean it. If someone does something to me and they come and apologize, they can say the longest speech ever, but if I know they're not being sincere, it means nothing. If they come up to me and say one word, "I'm so sorry," and I know they mean it, that means something. Be real, be authentic. Be authentic. We're authentic to your real self, by the way. Everyone talks about being authentic now. You've got to be authentic, be true to yourself. Be true to myself. That's the main ideal, be authentic. Well, I'm authentically really, really racist. So I have to be true to myself, therefore I'm going to beat people up. You can't be authentic, I'm afraid, my friend. Because you're not connected to your real self. You're connected to your ego self, which is racist, but your neshama is not racist. I'm really authentically upset with my wife, and I authentically feel like picking her. Alright? You're going to get locked up. So you're only allowed to be authentic when you're connected to your neshama. And your neshama is very simple. Your neshama loves people. Your neshama mamish loves everyone. Your ego hates everyone. Hates everyone else. I hate you all. But I don't really. I like you if you do something good. Otherwise, I don't trust you, I'm judging you. Your ego, that's your ego. Your neshama, just your neshama is in a constant state where he loves you. That's why it says by Yaakov, he was ish tam. Rashi says, libo ken piv. Just like his heart, so was his mouth. He meant what he said. What he said came from his heart. Now we've got two hearts. We've got a good heart and a bad heart. So if you're not connected to your good heart, then your mouth shouldn't be like your heart. But once you're connected to your real heart, and you've got rid of your complicated ego, ego is so complicated. And Hashem is so pure. Then you're just speaking it real. People, it's authentic and sincere and deep and real. How many conversations do you have during the day that are just real? They're too complicated to be just real. So I mean, vulnerable. There's another very, very, very important meaning of Yishuv Hadat. מה שהעולם רחוקים מהשם יתברך, היינו מתקרבים עליו יתברך רק מחנה שאין להם ישוב הדעת. By the way, our sages teach us the key to getting something into your heart. The key to making it real for you is to repeat one simple idea over and 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 over. Just take one simple idea and just keep saying it to yourself. When Yisrael Salanta basically started the Musa movement, he used to take one pasuk or one inspirational thing and stay up all night, pacing up and down his room, just saying it to himself over and over again. Atem etveki b'Hashem Elokeichem chayim kulchem hayom. Atem etveki b'Hashem Elokeichem chayim kulchem hayom. Atem etveki, and it just goes in. Everyone knows the story about Rabbi Akiva who saw the drop of water. There was a water dripping on a rock, and he saw that the water was making a hole in the rock. He was already 40 years old, he had started learning Torah, and he said, well, if water can actually make a hole in a hard rock, so too, if I learn Torah over and over again, that will make a hole in my heart. And it began Rabbi Akiva. But the key is, if the water's bouncing around, it's not going to make the hole, it's got to be in the same place. Same place. It's okay. It's like a mantra, it's really. That's where they get mantras from. Everything's from Jesus. Just say, you've got to say it. Now, you believe what you believe because you've been saying it to yourself your whole life. I'm not good enough. So you're you say, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I can't do this. I'll never do this. You've just been saying that to yourself so much you've burned it into your psyche. So we say, let go of that and start saying nice things to yourself.